Hello, Andy Graham of Hobo Traveler. I'm in Orland, Indiana, and I'm going to explain a travel tip or a buying tip. I truly want people to stop buying things because I think it's just conspicuous consumption and they really don't buy it. But there's a myth that things are cheaper on the internet, and they're 10% correct and 90% wrong. What happens on the internet is it's kind of a bait and switch thing. What happened is especially on plane tickets, you can get the tickets cheaper on the internet if you know what you're doing. The bad part is you can also pay twice as much and buy a really bad ticket. So the bad part about life is nobody brags about their failures, and it's like stockbroker. Stockbroker is very safe. He can sell a stock and nobody's going to say, hey, I lost $10,000 on the stock market, because nobody walks up to the local drugstore, coffee shop, and sits there and sits in Starbucks and says, hey, I just lost $10,000 because I was an idiot. You're not an idiot if you lose money. But let me try to tell you that the internet is not the place probably to get the best deals. It is if you know the right price. So the best deal is a perception, right? So a lot of people get on the internet and they buy something for 3 times the cost and they think they got a great deal. To get the good deal, what you have to do is monitor the prices for a while. Monitor the prices. Do you actually monitor the prices? I walk around in Kmart, I walk around in Walmart, I walk around in any kind of dollar store, discount store. I would walk around in any kind of store. Why? Because I want to know the going price of something. Now, if you got a good memory, which I only think about 50% of people even can remember the prices, mathematically remember it. Most people don't care. But one great way to monitor the prices is to read the paper. I've been fortunate. My parents have always read Reader's Digest and all this stuff, and I learned to read. Can you read? Everybody thinks they're an expert on everything, but what I do, they now subscribe to the Herald-Republican. They used to subscribe every day to the Journal-Gazette, which is a Fort Wayne newspaper, and they used to have to drive to Fort Wayne to get the deals. Now the Angola, a closer city, has a Walmart and all these different things and a lot of shopping. But they subscribe now to the Angola, the Herald-Republican, while they used to do the Journal-Gazette or the News Sentinel. I used to deliver the News Sentinel or Journal-Gazette in the morning. Journal-Gazette, I guess. And then what you do is on Sunday, I'm not sure what day they might even have a Wednesday thing, but on Sunday, this is the Sunday, oh, it says Sunday and Monday because it's, basically the newspaper is paid for with advertising. They make the bulk of their money with the advertising. But I'm sitting there wanting to buy a second battery for my car, and I really don't need it immediately. So if I need it immediately, I guess I just have to go force the issue and buy it. But what I want to do is I want to pick up the advertisements and study and see if there's a deep cycle 109 amp battery for lower than $65 being sold. So I know what it cost in Walmart, and then I can go through these things. But I go through these things and see if I get a value. And this is the Americanization of Andy right now. I've been outside the country for 14 years. I don't know what the cost of things are, so I read these things and go, wow, a gallon of exterior paint, $13. That's about the same price it was when I left. But there's things here that are going up that are outrageously priced. Okay? But the thing is that you can't know you got a good value unless you know what the going price is. And, you know, you wait until the last moment and you're for sure going to get the bad deal. So if you wanted to go to Thailand, you should be monitoring the prices of plane tickets to Thailand until one day it just drops down to an affordable price. But everybody thinks the internet's the answer. Internet's not the answer. It's the internet. It's to nonchalantly price things out when you don't need to. Now, the bad part. If you're a person that's addicted to buying, you shouldn't do this, right? It'd be much cheaper just to not read the newspaper and not buy anything. One friend of mine said the other day, is his name, but he said mission creep. What happens is that you read this and then you start buying things you don't need. Mission creep. You don't need to buy everything. So one great thing about Orland is I would have to drive 10 miles to go buy it, so it's not just easy to go buy this stuff. But I'm not prone, I'm not addicted to buying, and I don't want it. But if you really want the good deal, the Sunday newspaper for $1.25 is probably going to save a family a lot of money. If they think they're going to all buy it on the internet, they're wrong. No, I make all my money from the internet. Okay, you would think that I would be recommending you buy on the internet, but that's dysfunctional. Every decision is a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of everything. Okay, there is no absolutes. There's only. I'm always amazed when somebody says something very strongly and they think it's all or nothing. No, that's just me being confident. I'm always saying there's an exception to the rule. But to buy something, especially for a family, I mean, I couldn't believe you wouldn't subscribe to the Sunday newspaper. The news, the headlines I can get on the TV. The really valuable stuff I have to get on the second section. I mean, there's things that are small. Ghost town evacuated in the wake of western wildfire. I mean, there's these little articles that are human interest things that are truly valuable in the newspaper. I truly recommend you read the newspaper. I just can't imagine being in the United States and not reading the newspaper. That's one of the greatest things I miss. Contrary to what you think, 50% of your education is through advertising. And people sit there and talk about an iPad. I don't know much about iPads because I didn't watch the advertisements. I sit there and said, hey, I don't know all these things. I didn't watch the advertisement. But they're all so deceptive. Lead us not into temptation. We'll find our own way. If you can just say no to everything, you will be a rich person. Okay, Andy Hobo Traveler trying to get you to understand that reading the newspaper is maybe the best way to get some of the best values in life.